Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, it's a pleasure. It's always my honor to be out here well connected with nature and bringing to you this message of emancipation, whereby I'm pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. And that is why today I want to speak to you concerning a very important topic, which is the topic of the rapture. And anyone who would have grew up in secular Christianity would know that most Christians believe in the rapture, whereby they believe they will be caught away in glory and they would be in a geographical place called heaven, living in a body like this. Okay, that's the kind of belief that they have. And also they were told that the Bible, as in Bible, actually means basic instruction before leaving earth. Okay, and they think of leaving a physical earth as in just coming out of their body like that and going up in the air. Now, there's two ways that you can understand this whole thing about the rapture, and one way would make sense to you and the other way would not make any sense to you. So I'm going to show you the way that makes sense to me because it was my experience, okay, whereby I changed from mortal to immortality in a twinkling of an eye. And that twinkling of an eye is an opening of an eye where you would realize that you would have fallen asleep and dreaming of this life as you. And you must awake from the dream. And that will bring you into your resurrection, bring you into the virgin birth, and bring you into what many people refer to as the rapture. Because all of these things are actually the same thing. The virgin birth, the rapture, the death, burial, the resurrection, the crucifixion, all of that is happening within you. It's the same thing. It's one great, mighty experience that has many different parts, okay? But for you to understand that, you have to realize, first of all, that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. For the Bible is not literal, neither is it secular history. Also, the Bible is written symbolically, and it have no reference to anyone who existed thousands of years ago or to any actual event that would have taken place on earth thousands of years ago. From the beginning to the ending, it's all a great psychological drama, and it all have to do with the human psyche. So, when this thing take place in your life, it would help you to understand the great awakening that you must experience. It would help you to understand that everything takes place within, and that all things exist in your imagination. For God in man is man's imagination. So what you would discover is that your true essence, which is spirit, that it descended into generation. And you have the experience of a birth where you exit from one dimension into another dimension, which is this dimension, this 3D world, and you are having a human experience. That's your first birth. But there's a second birth whereby you are born from above. Therefore, it is that same energy, okay, that same creative power that is being reversed upwardly. And you find yourself in another dimension, but in this dimension, your spirit, your pure consciousness, you come back to your true essence. You become one with the wind. And you understand spirit and manifestation. You understand thoughts become things. You understand that the world becomes flesh. Because you start to understand the great awakening. So this rapture that the religious people are speaking about is actually the great awakening, where you will awake from the dream of life and you will have the experience of your Christ self, your higher self, and realize that it's all about you. and that there's no one in this world to change but yourself, and that the highest knowledge that you can ever discover in this journey of life is the knowledge of self. Man, know thyself. Because all of this will point you to look within. And when you start to look within, you will realize that the kingdom of God is within you. And you're told in Luke 17:21, not to let any man tell you, look here, look there. To make anyone make you look outside of yourself to discover the creative power, or to discover the creator, or to discover the infinite intelligence. That infinite intelligence is within you. And according to Matthew 6:33, says, when you discover this truth within yourself, he said that all these things will be added unto you. It means you will understand the whole process of creation. You will understand the creation story, because you will realize it is your story, because it is your own thought that is creating your reality. Therefore, you can create your reality consciously. So you have a choice by the thoughts that you operate in your mind to create whatever world you want to create, to have whatever experience that you want to have. Because you would realize also that man are not the creatures of circumstances, but circumstances are the creatures of man, because man create them. So our personality is being created by the thoughts we have within our mind. So your thoughts create your personality and your reality. Therefore, we must be in total mind control. So the Bible is all about the mind. So when your mind comes to a place of awakening and comes to a higher level, whereby you understand that everything is energy, vibration, and frequency, and that you are a mass of energy, you will also discover that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transmuted, because you would have experienced that transmutation of energy from within, because you would experience yourself in another form outside of just this physical form. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you experience the rapture. Okay, you know that it's a birth from the skull. It is you ascending upwards and exiting the skull and going to another dimension. It's like you're opening up a dimension. Okay, it's like you're going into another frontier. There's a word, a certain word I'm looking for, that is not coming to my mind right now, okay? But I can use the word portal. It's as if you open up a portal. Yeah, I think portal could work. That's the word. You open up a portal, okay? And all of that have to do with energy, vibration, and frequency. And depends on what kind of portal you open, it would mean what you would experience. That is why your mind have to be right. You have to practice positive thinking all the time. So when you have that rapturing experience, that you would realize that it's all your story, and that it's all about you experiencing unconditional love. So you would realize that there's nothing you will have done to gain this great and mighty experience, to come in to experience real heaven, which is above, to play the part of the mind and not the part of the body, because the body is a slave to the mind. Coming to that kind of understanding, knowing exactly who you are, why you're here, where you come from, and bringing all things back to your remembrance. It's right there in Acts 2 also. What the people refer to as the rapture is written right there in Acts chapter 2 also, where you speak the universal language. Where they would think that you're drunken, because why? You're so happy. You're full of joy. Because you don't have to worry about anything anymore. Because you can create consciously, because you understand the process of creation. Because you discover that the Creator is within you. Therefore, if the Creator is within you, you must use the creative power of the Creator to achieve your every desire and walk by faith Having the understanding that faith is you knowing to take something from the invisible world and make it visible in this three-dimensional world. It's your power. It's been given to you. So, my brothers and my sisters, I want to say to you, all the people who keep looking outside of themselves and believe that the rapture is going to take place and the physical realm as they think, no, it's going to take place in the spiritual realm, because everything is happening within you. It is taking place within you, not outside of you, for all things exist in your imagination. Okay, so the rapture is taking place within. It's taking place every day, and people looking for a special day that is going to happen. And I always keep saying, but we are living in the last days and so on. Do not get caught up in that kind of delusion. Okay, it takes place within. It's the awakening. We all will have that experience, and then we would know, okay, what the real rapture is all about. So, my brother, my sisters, this is the very first time that you're listening to me, and what I'm saying, it makes sense to you, really resonating with you. I would like to say to you, if you haven't subscribed already, I'm encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this video. But before I leave, I just want to remind you that whole experience of the rapture that I'm speaking about, I want to show you it's simple. It is the single eye message. Yes, the single eye. Yes, the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And my brother and my sister, hadn't it been that my whole body was filled with light, after I would have experienced that great and mighty shaking, that great earthquake, and then I would have heard that unearthly wind, when that eye opened within me, that single eye, and I awake from the dream of life and ascend like a fiery being, and understand that when the Bible says, as Moses was lifted up, as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so shall the Son of Man be lifted up, and have that experience of going up Jacob's ladder, whereby I ascend from the base of my spine and come out of my skull and became invisible, became one with the wind. Hadn't it been for that experience, I wouldn't have been here bring this message to you, saying to you that when you have this great and mighty experience, that you would realize that the Bible is actually the Sun book, as in the S-U-N book. For you will come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N. And that the sun parallels the human imagination, the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, as in the S-U-N, there is no life and there is no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And you are told in Psalms 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a sun, as in a S-U-N, and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. Common sense will teach you that the sun has never withhold any good thing from humanity, for the sun is what powers all of humanity and give all of humanity its energy. And then in Malachi chapter 4 verses 2, you're told also that the sun, as in the S-U-N, of righteousness. So the S-U-N of righteousness shall arise in you with what? Healing in his wings. That's why when the sun would have risen in me, I discovered that righteousness is you discovering the light in you. Righteousness is you discovering the sun in you. It is the rising of the sun in you that you discover that will bring healing to all of humanity, pointing each and every one to look inwardly to discover that their real identity is their divinity. And that's why I always encourage you also to use your mind power, which is your sun power, your solar power, your God power, your creative power, which is actually the sexual power. Use that power to achieve your every desire. So with that being said, I want to say peace. I'm out.